All right. I'm super excited to be meeting with Jeannien tonight. We decided to get together and kind of just share our journey when it comes to being women in business and,
Mhm.
being authentic, our authentic true selves and helping other women just find their true passion and their purpose in life. Whether it's, maybe finding the career field, in anything that they want to do or maybe building a business, something like that. So we're here to kind of just help empower and bring uh, hope and awareness to you, right? Into
Mhm.
shining the light on yourself and how you can potentially be your higher self. So I just wanted to kind of introduce a little bit about myself. My name is Krystal. I am a born and raised Coloradan, right? I'm a big outdoor enthusiast. Not too much into outdoor sports, but more of like hiking, biking, kayaking, things like that, just for fun and things like that, and riding horses. So, and then I'm super excited. My co-host here, Jeannien. I love working with this lady. She is such a powerful inspiration, when it comes to building a business alongside with her. So I just want to bring her up and just kind of introduce who she is. So,
Awesome. Well, thank you, Crystal. I'm, excited to do this new series with you, and it's awesome to be building a business with you. I've seen you grow from when you first started business to now as a strong, independent woman and building a business for you and your family. But a little bit about myself. My name is Jeannien. I am from the Bay Area, born and raised. A little bit of myself. I'm like Crystal when it comes to outdoorsy, but more on walks, you know. What we love to do here in Milpitas is eat, especially drink boba, coffee, so we're more of the foodie ones here.
I love
Um,
boba.
I love boba. You have to try some of the bobas out here, Crystal, when you come down here. It's amazing.
Absolutely.
Hopefully, people agree with me. But, I'm excited to start, building this series with you. And one thing that I know that we're big on here is empowering women and making an impact with those around us. And, hopefully we can reach out to other audience, whether it teach them about finances, building a business, building a network, or anything as such as loving themselves again, right? Me and Crystal here, we're very big on self-love and just reminding ourselves and those around us how strong and beautiful we are as women. So
Mhm.
we're going to
Absolutely.
be asking a few questions here. If you don't mind, Crystal, I'd love to go first.
Okay.
So one of the questions I have here for you, Crystal, is how do you empower yourself and the women around you? Because I know you've been networking a lot in Colorado and meeting new individuals or reconnecting with those that you've known before in the past. How do you empower yourself and how do you empower the women around you?
Wow, that's a big question, Jeannine.
Yes.
When it comes to, just empowering myself and other people, really, it really all comes down to just believing in yourself and believing in
Hmm.
others, right? So ultimately, in the beginning, in any business or any company that a person, a woman can get into,
Hmm.
it can be overwhelming, right? It could get a little too much sometimes. So what I typically do is just kind of like pull back and break it down to where the pieces and how to build, and how to like connect with other people and just
Hmm.
kind of believing in yourself, right? Because one thing is I guess when it comes to not if you're not able to do that, the road can get a little harder, right? Because you
Exactly.
have you have a lot of work to go through, and it's about like um, finding your higher purpose
Hmm.
and finding that right mindset. So, for me, yeah, I'm just gonna say it's just believing in yourself and believing in others because you see so many potential. so much potential in so many other people, right?
I agree.
And so being able to go out there and just kind of point that out to them and share, hey, like, this is who you are. This is who I see. So,
I love that. Well, thank you for sharing. And I definitely see that in you when it comes to believing in yourself and believing in others. You do have an organization where you do have powerful women in it. And even with those who aren't in your organization, the ones around you, I see you, reaching out to them, contacting them. And for me, myself, you do that to me as well. You believe in me and you remind me who I am as a leader. And I appreciate that. So thank you, Krystal, for answering that.
yeah. Thank you for such a great question. I love it so much.
Got to start off with a bang,
Right? Start off with a bang. Awesome. So, well, question for you, Jeannien. So as a female leader, what kind of has been the most significant barrier in your career so far? Maybe kind of some like roadblocks that you had to overcome that could maybe help other women learn how to overcome too,
That's a great question, by the way. My biggest thing is like what you said. In the beginning, I wasn't who I always was. I was very shy. I didn't like speaking in public. I didn't like, talking to random people. Even if, they were in line and they spoke to me first, I would just smile back or give them a simple response. And I think that goes back to what you were saying earlier, self-belief, but I definitely come a long way when it comes to believing in myself. And I feel like the biggest thing that people go through or like holds them back is, self-belief, like what you said, it's always that one person, which is yourself in your mind that tells you like, you can't do this or, you're not meant for that. But if you keep telling yourself negative things, that's just only going to stop you from what you're meant to be, My brother always tells me the story of, when you die or when you pass away or anything like that, at the end of your life, are you going to be that person that God tells you like, great job, like you're the person I've always meant you were meant to be? Or are you going to be that person like, you could have done greatness in life. Why were you afraid? There's two versions of you, but that's what I would say is, self-believe and self-loving yourself and doubting yourself. Stop doubting yourself. People are meant for so much more, and that's the reason why we're here. But that was a great question, Krystal.
Awesome.
I love how we relate,
I know.
We have the same mindset.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I think a lot of like these questions and stuff and our conversation is definitely going to be something, helping a lot of other women out there building a business, whatever industry that might be, right? Because, when it comes to kind of getting out there and being independent, it's hard. It's really hard. It's not an easy road. So, if we're able to continue to share, tips and tricks and advice in any kind of aspects, we're here to help answer any of those questions for all you guys. So, yeah. Question.
Love that.
What's your next question?
So since we are on the topic of self-love, Krystal, what are some ways that you show yourself, or what are some things you tell yourself to make you remember who you are as a powerful woman? Like, what are some personal experience that motivate you or you think that are very woman empowerment? I know it's a big question. It's a lot.
Wow.
But I feel like this series is like self-love right now.
Right? Yeah. I feel like, the universe is saying that today is more about like learning self-love and stuff. So, what was the question again? I'm sorry.
No, you're totally fine. It was a big question. So,
Yeah.
let me put it in this way. What are some personal experiences that motivated you, to think/care about women empowerment? Like, what brings you on the series right now with me to, have a woman empowerment movement?
Okay. All right. Well, I'd have to say what got me here into just becoming the person that I want to be. And that kind of brings me back to my childhood. So, a little bit about my history, and I think it was like fourth or fifth grade. I don't remember. But I had come home from school one day, sat down, watched TV. Mom told me to go do dishes, but I ignored her.
I think we always do that.
Yeah. So, I mean, I was in like fourth, fifth grade. I don't know. So, obviously. But the Lord had other plans for us. So, He had actually, the lightning struck our house.
Wow.
It split the tree in our front yard, went through our doorbell, and it was about 5 feet away from me and went across the whole living room.
Wow.
And the whole house was on fire. My sister was sleeping on the couch. My mom was working in her office. Because my parents had their own business too. So that's kind of where the seed started, right? But fast forwarding through all of that chaos and everything, it was a struggle growing up. It was a struggle seeing my parents just kind of like living paycheck to paycheck, doing everything that they can, working a couple, like 2-3 jobs. Not sure if we can keep a roof over our head. Lived in a camper for like 4, 5, 6 years, maybe.
Wow.
And then got into a modular home out in the land. Sometimes there were winters where we didn't have water.
Wow.
Sometimes there were times where we didn't have electric, no heat, just blankets. So that growing up as a kid and going through like grade school and college, high school, it was like a huge like wedge in my mind, right? How can I go above and beyond to support my family and support myself and, help other people not be in that situation, right? Because right now, with the way everything is going, there are more and more homeless people every day.
I agree.
And we almost were like that. This was like in like 2008, maybe.
Wow.
So right before that, huge financial crisis in 2008,
yeah.
right? So, but, I was trying to find my purpose. I wanted to do biology. Didn't do it because couldn't pass biology. So I got into outdoor recreation because I love outdoors. Thought about maybe being a forest ranger. Did it for a summer, but it's something that I love and I don't really want to make it a job because I don't know if you've ever been in a situation to where you ended up having to kind of start to hate something that you love.
Yeah.
It, right? So I didn't want to do that. Got into the senior care afterwards. Been there for like 6 years, back and forth, activity directing, managing, things like that. And with the pandemic, it really opened my eyes, right? It really opened my eyes as far as what am I doing with my life? What's my purpose? Like, I don't want to be working ungodly amount of hours and stressing my life out. And, I'm paid for 40 hours, but I'm still working for like probably an additional 10 on my off time just to get stuff done.
Yeah.
This is not good for me. And that's where I found my business and I got into it. And the biggest thing is like, it really broke me down to really know who I am as a person to start building me up to the person that I'm supposed to be.
Wow.
So I don't know if that even answered your question at all, but I guess like my journey and my history is what really inspired me, and
Hmm.
pushed me into just becoming my own like boss babe, right? So,
Yeah. Well, I think it's awesome, you know. Thank you for sharing that story with us. I know you didn't have to, but um, I just found this out. I didn't even know this about you, you know? So I love that how you're relentless and you're always wanting to help others, and no matter your age or, you know, where you are in life, you're always wanting that growth, you know. And you know what you're worth, you know. So I love that, Krystal.
thank you. Well, I have such a great, partner in crime, Jeannien, over here, just helping me and helping each other, right? And
Yeah,
growing and becoming the women that we are meant to be. So,
I definitely agree.
exciting journey here.
I'm excited.
Yeah. So I kind of want to ask you, since we're talking about, self-love and empowerment, what is some like as a woman in business and becoming a inspirational leader, right?
Mhm.
What are some like advice that you could probably share with some women out there on how they can find their purpose
Mhm.
and like maybe share how you kind of found this was your thing,
Mhm.
what are some
That's
like
a
for them?
that's a really great question. These questions are like
Yeah, they're intense.
good. But let's see how I found my purpose. I would say because I started this business right when I was 18, you know. My entire family's in it. My brother, my sister-in-law were the one that got us started with this company. And I've always had a heart of helping people, you know, and I've always wanted to do something where I can make an impact in the world. I used to want to be a nurse, you know, typical Filipinos, but I didn't like blood. I still don't like blood. And I don't like needles. Like just thinking about it makes me cringe. I don't know if anyone else feels that way.
Hmm.
But
Absolutely.
I always wanted to do something where I could help people. So I also love kids. I wanted to be have anything that dealt with kids, a teacher, a pediatrician.
Hmm.
But one, I didn't want to go to school for that long. I'm not much of a person that loves school. I'm not saying don't go to school, but I felt like I'm very big on family. That's another thing I'm very big on, you know, is family environment, family, just being around family, you know. And I felt like I found my purpose when, you know, God put me in this business where when I was able to manage my own time, but also still be there for family and still be around family, you know. And let's see, it was definitely different coming into the business because you never really like hear about business where you work with family, especially in the corporate world, right? Growing up, or I've worked, let's see, I think I've worked two corporate jobs, and this was like in high school.
Okay.
So Krystal, I've never actually had an actual corporate job where, yeah, it's crazy, huh? I never actually had a corporate job outside of high school. So when people talk to me about their corporate jobs and how they, you know, their PTOs, their pension plans, and when it comes to like their environment in general, like I'm always so confused because I've never experienced that, you know? So being in the business, I was able to find a purpose of, you know, wanting to be someone to somebody, you know, and this is the reason why I know me and you started, you know, this series is being
Mhm.
that person to somebody, you know, I've always wanted to make a change, make an impact. And I feel like this is just the beginning of a journey for you and I.
Right.
So hopefully I answered your question. It was a
Yeah.
lot to name,
Yeah.
but
Hey, we're going for deep questions today. And
yes,
like we're talking about, it just the universe, God is wanting us to share some self-love today. That's what it is,
yes.
you know. Um and people might need that right now. So,
Yeah. So wherever you guys are in life, I feel like people just need to remind themselves that, there is something to look forward to, whether they're on that path right now or they're trying to get that path. It's
mhm.
all about timing.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, thank you, Krystal, for logging on today and, answering some of the questions that I did have. And, I appreciate the questions that you did ask for me. And I'm excited for the next series. But, before we do end, I did want to end with a quote that I saw that I love. So it says, women don't need to find a voice. They have a voice and they need to feel empowered to use it. And people need to be encouraged to listen. So if any last thing you want to add to your Krystal?
Awesome. Awesome. Well, I just want to say thank you so much, for sitting with me and getting started on this like first of many series, right?
Yes.
I know it's going to definitely be helping a lot of women out there, maybe just any individual really trying to get into
Mhm.
business and stuff like that. So if any of y'all out there on social media, if you have any questions that
Yes.
you'd like for us to answer, we'd be happy to share, what it's like for us building a bit, starting and building a business in
Hmm.
that. So be sure to make sure you like and follow our content and share it with your
Yes.
friends, right? Because we're here to kind of help empower you as an individual. So,
Hmm.
yeah, thank you
Awesome.
again. And I'm excited for
Well,
the next one.
yes. Thank you, everyone. Have a great rest of your day.